All right, so in this video, we are going to be simplifying the concept of reality creation. How can you create the reality that you want to live in? This is something that is possible. It is possible to create reality, not only being a victim of your external reality, but being a creator of reality, choosing what kind of reality you want to live in. This is possible, regardless of what other people may tell you. No, you do not have to hustle and grind and fight in order to create the reality that you want. If you want a life that feels effortless and easy, where you're in the flow state, where your life is like a living synchronicity, and you feel connected to the universe, and you feel like you're able to create art that is authentic, that just flows out of you, and you don't have to try super hard to make, you don't have to fight and grind and hustle and sweat and wake up at 5 in the morning and stack your day full of all of these personal development habits. You don't need to fight and claw in order to get the reality that you want. However, you do need to know how to use your mind properly, and also how to fill your consciousness with images that put you in the state of being that allow you to embody the ideal reality that you want to create. So this video, I want to simplify reality creation. No, I do not want to get super esoteric and metaphysical. However, it is very, very useful to have a basic understanding of what actually is reality and how can we influence the way that reality appears in our lives. So the first principle you have to understand is that the internal and the external are intertwined. This is something that is actually scientifically proven in quantum mechanics. There was this famous experiment called the double slit experiment, where scientists were trying to discover the nature of a photon, which is like a light particle. They wanted to see if a photon is either a particle or a wave. And what they discovered is that the results of their experiment changed based on what they were measuring for. Based on whether or not they were actually measuring the photon, it appeared differently. If they were measuring it, it appeared as a particle, but when they weren't measuring it, it appeared as a wave. And this was very, very spooky at the time. This was in like the 30s. And we discovered that reality is not separate from you. It's not something that's out there that's difficult to change. Reality is intertwined with you. Your consciousness plays a key part in the creation of reality. And actually, I'm going to take this one step further, and I'm going to say that your consciousness actually is reality. So what does this mean? Without getting super metaphysical, without getting super esoteric and woohoo, I want to say very, very simply that your experience right now, like your 5 senses, your sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, even your thoughts, these things are made of your consciousness. So all that means is that reality is made of your experiences. If you look around you right now, I want you to verify that what Adam is saying is true. I don't want you to take what I'm saying as a belief or on faith. I want you to just look around you. Is your first person experience made of your consciousness? Yes or no? All that means is that reality is made of your experience of reality. Your field of awareness right now is what your reality is. It has always been this. From the beginning of time, from the minute you were born, the minute you popped out of your mom's womb, you've had this field of experience, and this is the only thing you've had to be able to access reality with. Just this field of experience and these 5 senses or 6 senses or however you want to split them up. So actual reality, literal reality, is made of your perceptions. There is nothing that is physical that is behind the scenes of reality. There is no internal reality and external reality. These two things are intertwined. They're actually one thing. There is no separation between the internal and the external. This is very important. I don't want you to take my words on faith. This isn't a philosophy debate. This is science class. I want you to do an experiment. Actually, I want you to draw a distinction between your internal world and your external world. Where is the boundary between your internal world that normally you would call your mind or your emotions? Where is the boundary between what is happening internally and what is happening externally? Where is that boundary? Where does the external world start and the internal world begin? Or where does the external world end and the internal world begin? I want you to actually find the boundary in your experience right now. You might say, well, Adam, it's just the boundary of my skin. Well, actually, no, because if you're aware of science, then you know that your skin has millions and millions of pores with tiny little holes, and these holes are constantly exchanging air with your environment, water molecules as well. There's millions of cells that your skin is made of that are constantly exchanging materials and resources and waste from the external world and exchanging with external world. So where is the external world and where is the internal world? This is something you need to really contemplate. What's the difference between something that is happening in me and something that is happening out there? When you practice meditation, what you do is you just sit and you just be aware of sensations. You be aware of your thoughts and feelings. You watch them arise and you watch them pass away. Very quickly, without even too much practice, after a couple of months, you can see very clearly that there actually is no difference at all between the external world and the internal world. Everything that you call an external experience, like driving your car, or like listening to music, or like watching 2 frogs have sex. The reason I thought of that is because there's a swamp in front of me. Yeah, watching, I don't know, animals or trees or whatever. You think those objects are outside of you. But when you meditate, you realize that everything that exists is actually just an appearance of your mind. This is a fact. You can't get around this. It's impossible. So understanding that internal and external are the same. Oneness. When people say, oh, it's all one, reality's all one. Yes, they're correct. This is what the ancient sages have been saying for thousands of years, way before you were born. Thousands of years, the ancient sages have been saying, all of reality is one. What does this mean? What they mean is, me and you are not so different. What am I right now but just an appearance of your mind? Isn't that interesting? This is the truth. All right, so using this framework, understanding this truth, then it makes a lot more sense when we start talking about how to create the ideal reality that I want to live. Because now you start to pay a lot more attention to the thoughts and feelings that you are holding within your field of awareness, because you understand that thoughts and feelings that you give your attention to in your field of awareness manifest as part of your physical reality. Whenever you give your attention to anything, it could be a song, a movie, an Instagram post, your friend's conversation, a thought that appears in your head, whenever you give your attention to something, what you're actually doing is you're giving it space in your reality. Your field of awareness is your reality, correct? So when you give an object space to be in your field of reality, that object becomes more and more prominent in your life. So if there's a little thought, let's say, that appears, and this thought is, I have no money. Oh, I have no money. And whenever this thought appears, you give it your attention. You focus on it. You worry about it. You think about it. You scheme about it, and this is all you think about. I have no money. The more you give attention to this thought, the bigger it grows in your life, and then it starts to manifest in physical reality. You start to vibrate on the frequency of having no money. And then lo and behold, what you give your attention to, what you allow to occupy your mental real estate, that becomes more and more prominent in your reality experience. So put very simply, what you focus on expands and grows and becomes real. It's the same if you're focusing, let's say you're playing video games and you're playing Call of Duty, which I used to play a lot of when I was younger. It's just a game where you run around and you shoot people. You just run around and you shoot people. Now you might think, well, Adam, it's just a game. I'm just having fun. This isn't like conditioning my consciousness to be violent. Well, actually, it is. You're running around and you're killing people. And this has a subconscious effect on your feelings about life. You feel at war in your life. When I was playing a lot of Call of Duty, I would get into a lot of fights with my family and friends. I would feel like reality's always out to get me. Like there's someone behind me who's gonna shoot me, because that's my own karma. I'm the one who wants to go shoot other people in this game. So now I've created the karma of being afraid of being shot by others. So the actions you take in your life, the thoughts you think, the ideas that you focus on, those create your physical reality. Because your field of awareness is all that exists. So when you're paying attention to something that is unwanted, you're giving it space in your life. So a great way to work on creating your ideal reality is step one, get really, really clear about what you actually want. Get clear about what does your dream life look like. And I want you to be specific. So I want you to actually think about your dream life in detail. Where are you living? Who are you hanging out with? What are you doing with your friends? What kind of community are you a part of? What kind of art do you create? How do you feel on a daily basis? What's the quality of the air in the place that you're living? How expensive is your home? What's your income? And I don't want you to worry about how to get this end result. All I want you to do is just focus on the end result and focus on the end result. Focus on it. Feel it as if it's real. So I'll tell you a story. When I was younger, there was sometimes these like certain toys that I would see on TV, and I'd see a commercial and then I would really want this toy. Like I would have a strong desire to have this toy. I was really into Transformers and Power Rangers when I was a kid. I really, really wanted this toy. So for months, I would go in the catalog, the magazine, and I'd cut out a picture of the toy and I'd just stare at it all day. I'd think about it. I'd dream about it. I would play with it in my imagination. I would draw it on paper. I would think about this toy all day and all night. I would feel it, what I would do when I finally have it. For months, I would think about it. I'd ask my parents for it every day. And eventually, I would get it. And I'm very lucky. And there's many different ways that I would get my toys. Sometimes I'd get them for Christmas. Sometimes once I won a Nintendo DS in a raffle. This Nintendo DS at my school, there was a raffle. I really wanted it so bad, this Nintendo DS. I would think about it all day and all night. I would ask my friends and my relatives for $10, $20 so I can enter it into the raffle so that I can win this DS. I must have spent like $100 worth of raffle tickets just to get this Nintendo DS, and eventually I did win because my name was in there like 10,000 times. Because when you want something in your life, very simply, you already know how to create reality. You already know how to manifest. All you need to do, focus on the thing you want a lot, and don't let issues of how to dissuade you. Don't worry about, I don't know how to live in my dream home, or I don't know how to do my dream job for a living. Just focus on doing it. Draw it, visualize it, think about it, sing about it, listen to music that reminds you of it. So all you need to do is fill your mental real estate with more images of what you want to create in your life. Add it into your life. This is how you create reality. It's very simple. You don't need to do a specific mantra. You don't need to do a specific meditation. You don't need to do a specific ritual. All you need to do is come up with some creative way that you can give more loving attention to the thing that you want to create more of. For me, what I've done in the past that has worked for me is writing stories from the ideal version of myself's reality, writing journal entries as my ideal self. I've even drawn it out. Draw out your ideal reality on a piece of paper. You can have a file on your computer and go on Google Images, start Googling images of what you want to create in your life. Start dragging them into that file. You don't need to look at it every day. You don't need to do this magic, click your heels together 3 times and say there's no place like home, and then you'll magically be transported to your ideal reality. There's none of this voodoo witchcraft nonsense. All that's necessary is to realize that your consciousness is literally reality. So what you fill your consciousness with becomes reality. It is reality. But you say, Adam, but the thing in my imagination is different from the physical thing. And what I tell you is absolutely not. First, before anything is created, it needs to first be conceptualized, right? Before you go to build a house, you need to have an architecture blueprint, and you need to have a map, a plan before you build the house. So this is the same thing. Before your ideal reality gets created, you need to visualize it and plan it. So strategize your ideal reality. I remember when I was 12, I really, really wanted a gaming PC so I can play all my favorite video games. But I had no money to afford it at all. I had $100 and this PC was gonna cost me $1,000. So I was nowhere close. I had no job. I was 12. So instead of crying that it's not possible, I was so certain that I would get this PC. And all I would do, I didn't know how I would get it because my parents told me, no, it's too expensive. I've never gotten $1,000 gift before. That's a lot of money. So I don't know how I was going to get it. But for months, all I did was focus on this PC. I would build the PC in my imagination. I studied it. I'd study graphics processors, CPUs, RAM, power supplies, cases, mice. I'd study the monitor, and I would come up with different combinations of how to build this PC. And then I'd watch tutorials of how to build the PC. So I was using my imagination as if I was definitely going to get the PC, and I was preparing so that when I finally did get it, I knew exactly what to do when I got it, because I watched the tutorial of how to build a PC like 700 times, that by the time I finally got all the parts, this was like 7 months later, I had saved up enough money, and my dad agreed to buy half of it. So I ended up getting all the parts, and when I finally got it, I built the PC in like a few hours because I was so prepared and I was so ready and I had everything all planned out. So all this to say, you can manifest whatever you want in your life if you're willing to think about it a lot and to visualize it and to plan it, to strategize it, to take action towards it. Very simple. Don't focus your attention on unwanted things. So when we're creating a new reality, sometimes it's difficult because we still have the remnants of the old reality surrounding us. We're still in our old house with our old friends and our old family or whatever. So it's hard to focus on being your ideal self now when you have all of this contradictory stuff in your reality. But the mark of a true reality creator is someone who is able to choose their state of being regardless of external appearances. So this is the difference between being a reactor, being a victim to your circumstances, and being a proactive creator of your destiny. Don't allow external things to trigger you so much. Respond to the old reality as the new self. So imagine you're visualizing you're being your new self. You're creating art, you're sharing it with the world. Maybe you're a famous musician or whatever. And then something happens, you get into an argument with your girlfriend about money or whatever it is. You get into an argument. Based on how you react to this old situation determines on what you will get in your future reality. So do you react knee-jerk as the old self, or do you respond as the new self? Responsibility, your ability to respond to old things as the new self. So don't focus on unwanted things. So if you want to create a new reality, it's important to accept your current reality. Accept it. Don't fight against it. Just witness it and accept it. Don't take action from a place of trying to escape your old reality. Don't try to escape your old reality. Accept your old reality. Accept it. Let it be. Then turn your attention to what is wanted instead. So acknowledge what you have now. If you don't acknowledge what you have now, then you're not taking responsibility for having created your exact life situation the way it is now. Your life situation the way it is now has been created by you, is a reflection of your consciousness. Perfect one-to-one. All of your beliefs and thoughts and emotions are reflected out in your life. Perfect one-to-one. Reality is a mirror. There is no difference between the internal and the external. So when you blame this imaginary external reality for victimizing you, then you're not realizing that internal and external are actually the exact same thing. So first take responsibility for having created your reality exactly the way it is. Then, very simply, turn your attention to what is wanted instead and keep your attention on what is wanted instead. various ways to do this. Draw your ideal reality. Write about it. Sing about it. Plan it. Strategize it. Dress like it. Take action towards it. Be it. Think about it. Research it. Collect files about it. Study it. Prepare for it. That's a big one. Prepare for your ideal reality to enter your life. If you want to travel to a different country, but you don't have enough money to do it, who cares? Start learning the language. Start taking action to go to the new country. Start packing your bag. Prepare, find your Airbnb. Prepare to travel even before it's possible financially for you to travel. Once you're in the vibration of knowing for sure that you're going to travel, then you'll find a house that's affordable. You'll meet a friend randomly, and then they're gonna be staying at a house and they'll give you a couch to sleep on for free, and then you can travel with less money than you thought you needed. So in order to create a new reality, you need to vibrate on the frequency of that new reality. The way you do that is by filling your mental space with images that remind you of that reality, that give you the feeling tone of that reality. So that's how you create any reality you want, and I mean it. It's a lot easier to create a reality if it's something that is aligned with your heart. This is the final point I'll make. If it's something that's authentic, that you genuinely want. So some people may say, well, Adam, if I can create any reality I want, then I want to be the supreme ruler of the world. And I want everyone to worship me. And I want people to kiss my feet and give me money and feed me grapes. So this is actually not an authentic, heart-centered desire. This is an inauthentic, power-based desire. That's an ego-based desire. That's based on power over others. Manifest from the power of love, not from the love of power. So when you're manifesting your reality, your ideal reality, you'll find it's a lot more inspiring and authentic for you, and it's more exciting if it's something that also benefits all of humanity, if it benefits others, if your ideal reality has a positive impact on the whole world, then the universe will help you manifest it. It'll be easier, it'll be more natural. But if the thing you're trying to manifest is just like millions of women to sleep with you or millions of dollars to blow lines of cocaine or whatever, pleasure seeking, this kind of hedonism, there's nothing wrong with seeking pleasure. That's fine. Pleasure is good, but your manifestation will be more powerful if it's something that is authentic and that comes from the heart, usually involves creating something that benefits humanity. All right, that's all I have to say here. If you like this video, come join my free community. It's called the Conscious Creator Community. In that community, we do free calls every single week where people come on, they ask me questions about how to raise your state of consciousness and how to manifest your ideal reality in an effortless, flowy kind of way that doesn't require grinding and hustling and fighting. I've tried that. It's inauthentic. It doesn't work. What I've discovered is that manifesting reality is a lot easier when you trust your authentic self and you focus on improving your state of being. So seek first the kingdom of heaven, then all things will be added on top of you. So hopefully not on top of you because they'll be heavy and maybe crush you, but they'll be added onto you. So come join the Conscious Creator Community. In that community, we do guided meditations, and I give you advice for how to raise your state of being so that you can manifest your ideal reality, so that you can create art that inspires the world and you can be the best version of yourself. So come join that community. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.